Hello, brought to you by the love of my life, the forest. Today I just want to talk about so I'm on day 7 of my grape fast, and it's always just interesting to see how different each fast is and what it brings up. And I just want to share a little bit about the differences that I've experienced between mono eating, fruit fasting, and juice fasting, and what I prefer. I mean, they're both beautiful. My last time doing a mono eating fast was with watermelon, and I did 11 days, and I had tons of energy. Like, I just wanted to work out every day. I wanted to go for it. Like, it was endless, and there was so much heart energy, because the watermelon is really heart healing and heart opening. So it was very heart opening. I felt like I was just like overflowing with so much love, and so much energy. Like, I just couldn't move enough. The challenging part of the watermelon fast when I was doing it, I don't know if it would be the same doing it now. It depends on what season we are in our life, and what we're going through can change in each experience. We could do the same fast 10 times over and have 10 different experiences every single time. So it's not to say that this would happen again, but during the watermelon fast, I had a lot harder time with cravings than I did with the juice fasts, because I find that with the juice fast, when you're just drinking juices, you're not even thinking about food, because you're not eating anything. Your body's not eating anything. You just get used to that. So it's a lot harder to not think about food. Where when you're eating fruits when you're eating the fruit, your body is eating something. It's intaking something. So I found, I was thinking about food a lot, because I was thinking about eating. So it made wanting food a lot stronger than when I'm juice fasting. This time with my grape fast, I'm 7 days in today, and I haven't been having a super hard time with food. When I tune into, is there anything I actually want to be eating right now? Every day I'm like, is there anything I would eat, like would want to eat other than grapes right now? It's just like, no, I'm not really interested. So it's not that same experience this time with grapes, but I am only 7 days in, so we'll see. It's been a deeply emotional experience. There's a lot coming up to the surface, but I find that it doesn't matter what you fast with. That naturally happens with fasting. You're giving your body a break, and you're deeply listening when you're fasting, and especially if you are very intentional with it, and you take the space to sit with what's coming up, and you actually feel and be in presence with yourself throughout the fast as much as you can, depending on your lifestyle and how busy your life is. But you really want to take as much downtime as you can during a fast to deeply listen, because there is so much that comes up to the surface during a fast. So the thing about juice fasting, I feel with mono eating, with just eating fruits, I find that I'm a lot more grounded. The grapes are definitely less grounding, I think, than the watermelon. Like, I feel higher with the grapes than I did with the watermelon, which makes sense because grapes are a higher vibrational fruit. And they're a lot more detoxifying, for sure. Like, the watermelon, I felt super energized, I didn't feel like a lot of detoxing was happening. Like, sure, detox was for sure happening, but it wasn't like intensive detoxing. Where the grapes, my body's like going through a lot. Like, I need a lot of rest. With the watermelons, I wasn't needing a lot of rest. So I'm needing a lot of extra rest, a lot of body pains happening, a lot of different energies in the body shifting. I can feel a lot. I feel like it's in the kidneys, which, the kidneys hold the energy of fear. So I feel like that is probably part of what is shifting and clearing and cleaning, with the grapes, through also just physically detoxifying them. So there's a lot more detoxing happening. It's a lot more inward. I think just in general, this chapter of my life, what I'm moving through, I'm just generally more inward. But the grapes are definitely amplifying that. Like, I just want to be in my bubble. It's like I'm in this chrysalis and I'm moving through so much, and I don't really want too much of the outside world coming in. That's just what it feels like. But I'm in a different chapter, our body calls for what it needs in each chapter, and the grapes are what is supportive for what I'm moving through right now. And lots of nature. I just got lost in nature. I'm like, what was I talking about? So I've just been like lying by the river a lot and just listening, letting it just like wash through a lot of the stories that the grapes are like digging up and bringing to the surface. So it's been a lot of emotional healing, as fasting always is. And every time I do a juice fast, it's the same thing: a deep, deep emotional healing, deep psychic clearing, deep energetic clearing, deep. It's just, I lose my words when I talk about it, because I just don't have words for how incredible it is. I don't have words for everything that I feel it doing for me, that it has done for me, that it continues to work in my body, in my life, in all of the different layers. It's something you have to experience. You can't fully put this experience into words. You can't fully experience what it feels like to have a clear mind and a clear body, and more and more and more. The more I do this, the more I feel cleaner and clearer. The deeper I connect to nature, the deeper I can hear what the plants are saying, what the ocean is saying, what the waters are saying. Nature is always speaking to us. We just forgot how to listen. And through cleaning my body and eating in a way that's is in harmony as I can possibly live with nature at this time in my life. I can't grow my own fruits and vegetables right now, so yes, there is still contributing to suffering in the world with even just buying stuff at the stores for the stuff that's being sprayed, and there's so many, the world is set up where we almost can't not contribute to suffering, even if we think we're doing everything right, but I know that eating raw and the fruits, just being on fruits, but like in general, just eating raw, you naturally remember and you naturally awaken to these realizations and these knowings within you of how we're actually meant to live, and how far we have come from our natural state of being, how far we've come from what community is supposed to be like, how far we've come from our center, from our hearts, from love. And naturally, if you start to follow fruitarians and a lot of the raw vegans, they're all living somewhat similar lives. They're growing their own food, they're passionate and they care about the plants and the animals. They're wanting to build communities. They're wanting to live in community. They're wanting to live with the earth. And this is what, for me anyways, this is what it's brought to me. It's seeing humanity clearer. It's having love for myself, a deeper love for myself and all of humanity and all of the living beings here, and wanting to shift the trajectory of this fast moving train. And to shift it into the heaven on earth that I know that is possible, that I know that we're here to create, that I know that we are creating moment by moment, day by day, that is rebirthing through our own bodies. And I know that this is part of the process. Everything starts from within, and the shifting that that many beings are going through, and the inner calling to shift what they're eating and to clean their bodies. You know, I talk to quite a few people as my business expands now, and I hear all the stories of how their body's shifting and how they're just naturally feeling called to this, naturally feeling called to clean their bodies, naturally what they're wanting to eat is changing. And that gives me such hope and inspiration. And I love to see the shifts that my clients go through when they go through this process. It's just so exciting because it's done so much for me. And it's just blessed my life. It's blessed my life. And continues to pour into me as I pour into myself, as I love my vessel with the most high vibrational foods that I can possibly have access to right now at this time in my life. Sure, that's sprayed foods still, that's genetically modified fruits, because where do you get organic fruits with seeds in them, you know? Unless you don't live in America or Canada, you know, I don't know, you know, that it's not super accessible. So I'm doing the best with what I can, and I think that's all we can do until, you know, the next quantum leap, the next upgrade of our lives happen, which naturally happens when we love ourselves and we fill ourselves with the best that we can. You know, our reality shifts from the inside out. When we shift our frequency, the reality outside eventually catches up and shifts with it. And what has shifted my frequency is the foods. Sure, I've shifted my frequency a lot with so much different types of healing, with plant medicine work, with all of the different, you know, with body work, with dancing, with movement, with vocals, with singing. They've all been portals to open up more within me. And this chapter of my life, the medicine for me is the food, is the raw, it was the missing piece. You know, I still dance, I still sing, I still work with my body and work with somatics and do energy healing on myself and all of the things, but food is the missing piece. Food, you know, we can do all of the right things, we can do all the plant medicine we want, we can do all of the vocal toning we want, we can do all the singing we want, we can do all of the other things, but if we're still poisoning our sacred waters, if we're still poisoning our body with the food, we're not really loving ourselves. We're not really loving the earth. Of our body as an extension of the earth, as our body is the reflection of the earth. How can we hug a tree and then pour oil into her, whatever, chemicals onto her earth and say we love her? That's what we're doing to our bodies if we're still poisoning our bodies. We're saying, oh, I love you, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, but then I'm also gonna put chemicals in my body. I'm also gonna poison my body. No. To fully remember and to fully return, I believe, is the foods, is what we're putting in our bodies. We are what we consume. That's not just the medicines, that's not just the music, that's not just the people we surround ourselves, that's what we put in our bodies. We are frequency. Everything is energy and frequency. What is the frequency of what we are putting in our body? That is what matters. Is it a frequency of love? Is it poison? Is it just dead energy that's just overall lowering our energy? Is it loving our bodies? Are you loving your body through what you're putting in your body? And I get it. It's tricky. You know, we're so conditioned to have so many. We're conditioned into food cravings. We're conditioned into food addictions, and then we're addicted to these poisonous foods. We're addicted to poison. You know, why is there McDonald's and all of these fast food chains? Why are there's so many of them everywhere you go? You can't go into a country that doesn't have fast food chains. You know, they're polluting humanity. And it's not even food, but why are people eating it? Why are these businesses still functioning? Because people are addicted. It's good tasting garbage. That's all it is. And we're literally treating our bodies like dumpsters. and eventually that catches up, and we're being called so strongly, if you're listening, to clean our bodies, to love our bodies, to remember our truth, to wake up and stop feeding a destructive system, which starts within, to stop feeding your own destructive habits, stop poisoning yourself, to stop poisoning your body. When are you going to be enough? When are you going to love yourself enough to choose yourself? Are you not worthy of the highest vibrational foods? Are you not worthy of being healthy? Are you not worthy of feeling good? Are you not worthy of investment? And it's not even, it's not even a big investment. It's not even, most people are spending more in a month on coffee than I spend in a month on food, on a month on a juice fast. Like, it actually costs me less to eat raw than it did when I was not eating raw. Way less. So, we can come up with all the excuses we want, all of the stories we want as to why we aren't taking care of ourselves, why we aren't loving ourselves, why we aren't loving our body. But at the end of the day, the excuses are only hurting ourselves. The stories are only hurting ourselves. The stories are only feeding into our own suffering. And also the suffering of the world, because we are an extension of it all. Everything that we do for ourselves, we do for all. We are all connected, one soul, one family. I love the world through my own body. I love the divine through my own body. I love the earth through my own body. I love God through my own body. I show my love to this earth, to the children of this earth, to the next generation to come, to my soul family. I show my love, my devotion to the mother, to the father, to God, Goddess, through how I treat myself, through how I show up every single day. And no, every day is not perfect, but I get up and I do my best. And I get up and I try to listen, and sometimes I mess up, and sometimes I don't listen to my heart, and I fall, and I get up again, and I say sorry, and I ask my body for forgiveness, for hurting her, for not listening to her, for self-abandoning, for self-sacrificing, because it takes time to rewrite the stories. It takes a lot of presence and a lot of patience to rewrite the stories that have been written for generations and generations and generations. But it only ends when we decide that it ends. It ends with us, but we have to decide that. And if it doesn't end with us, then who? If it's not you, then who? No one is coming to save us. And do our children's children not deserve a better world? Or do they get the scraps of what we leave behind after we've eaten all the goodness of this world and left garbage behind for them? What are we leaving behind? A poisoned earth? Poisoned waters? Everything that we consume also affects us. It affects our wombs. Everything we don't process, the pain we don't process, it doesn't go away. We can't just shove it down. We can't just push it under the carpet and turn a blind eye to it. It's there, imprinted in our very DNA, in our cells, and when we process it and release it, we transmute it, and it is gone. It is gone forever. All the way back and all the way forward, for 7 generations back and 7 generations forward. It leaves, it is transmuted. But when we don't process that, we hand it off to the next generation and the next generation until someone brave enough and courageous is enough to feel, and to not only feel their own stuff, but to feel all of the pain of their ancestors, the ones that weren't willing and weren't able to feel, to let go, to transmute. So will you have the courage to feel? Yes, we're carrying a lot, but if you don't feel it, you leave it to the next generation. You give it to your children. Can you love the children of this earth enough? Even if you aren't a parent or ever plan on becoming one. I'm not a mother, not yet. But I refuse to bring children into this world until I feel that I have let go of enough that I'm not handing them my own pain. And sure, I'm sure they'll still come in with stuff. I'm sure I won't be perfect. But I'm gonna do my best to give them their best chance at life. So they don't spend their whole life like I have so far just healing. So they actually get to live, to be children, to know who they are, to express who they are without having to just spend their entire lives digging their way out of a grave that they never dug for themselves. Everything that we don't process lives within us. The pain that we experience as fathers, as mothers, it's seated in the seed. It's seated in the womb. It's imprinted in the womb. The emotions that you have while you're pregnant, they imprint on the baby. The environment of the pregnant woman, it imprints on the baby. Everything we do matters. How we feel matters. We are creating this. We are creating this world. We created this. We all complain. So many people complain about the state of the world. We only have ourselves to blame. We did this. We did this. And we have to fix it. We have to take accountability of our own individual lives and our own individual footprints on this earth. To look at ourselves. Look at how we are harming our own bodies. Look at how we are treating our own selves and each other. And take accountability for that. Take accountability for our own pain. No, yes, we were all children once. We were all children that were hurt. But we were hurt by adults that were children once that were hurt, that never healed their pain. And then they hurt other people. Like that saying, hurt people hurt people. It doesn't stop until we take accountability for our pain and we transmute it and we release it. It's up to us. Are we going to choose? What else are we going to do? Live our entire lives in suffering, pretending it's not there, trying to numb it with drugs, with alcohol, with with sex, with whatever we can, with technology to numb and pretend that we're okay, to live a lie our whole lives, and waste our precious life being miserable on the inside, being in pain, when this life is a gift, and we can live it feeling incredible with all of our dreams and more coming true for us. We can feel ecstatically, orgasmically blissed out just by being alive. When we love ourselves, when we eat well, when we heal, when we let go of the stories, when we let go of the pain, but we have to feel it. We have to feel it. There's no way around it. Anyways, this was supposed to be just a short little video of, it's never short videos. It was just supposed to be a short little video of the difference between juice fasting and mono eating, but it is what it is. Anyways, I think that's all I have to share today. I really want to get lost in nature. get found in nature. This is just by my campsite. That's my little tree, my water, my poncho. I'm gonna go find a river soon. Anyways, that's it for today. I love you so much. This is never about shame. This is never about judgment. This is just, a direct message, a clear calling home, a loving calling home, an invitation to remember you and remember what it means to be alive and how good it can feel to be alive, and our responsibility of people of this earth, of Earth Mother, and what we are contributing. Anyways, much love.